Mr. Bean is one of the most recognizable comedy characters ever created. For decades, he dominated television screens across the world with his elastic expressions and perfectly timed chaos. But behind the bumbling man in the brown suit stood Rowan Atkinson, a man whose reality was far more complicated than the character he portrayed. While audiences saw effortless physical comedy, Atkinson was wrestling with private frustrations, a painful public divorce, mounting criticism, and a growing confession about the role that made him famous. Yet, none of that was as unsettling as the rumor that refused to fade about who Mr. Bean truly was. After years of letting the speculation swirl, Rowan Atkinson has finally addressed the truth. Today on Royal Time of Hollywood, we're pulling back the curtain on the private frustrations, the heartbreak, and the alien truth behind the legend. The making of an unlikely icon. Born on January 6, 1955, in County Durham, Rowan Atkinson had no early connection to show business. He was the youngest of four brothers in a farming family. As a young boy, Rowan faced a challenge that made the prospect of a public career seem impossible, a lifelong stutter. Words did not come easily, and public speaking was a source of constant risk and embarrassment. However, this struggle became the foundation of his genius. Atkinson studied electrical and electronic engineering at Newcastle University before moving to Oxford for his master's. It was at Oxford that he realized he had a gift. When he played a character, his stutter vanished. More importantly, he discovered he could make people laugh without saying a single word. His logic-driven engineering mind applied itself to comedy, leading to the creation of a character with no background, no job, and no history. On New Year's Day 1990, Mr. Bean debuted, and the world was never the same. The hidden burden of the brown suit. While the world roared with laughter, Atkinson was wrestling with the dark truth of his success. Mr. Bean worked too well. Internationally, Atkinson was no longer seen as a versatile actor. To the rest of the planet, he was simply the man who plays Mr. Bean. Even more surprising, Atkinson has confessed that he does not find playing Mr. Bean fun. He describes the role as stressful and exhausting. Because there is no dialogue, every facial expression and muscle twitch must be mathematically precise. Physical and mental strain. There are no words to rescue a scene if the physical gag fails. A weight of responsibility. Living up to the expectations of fans in over 190 countries became a burden he endured rather than enjoyed. This immense pressure is why, in recent years, he has shifted the character toward animation, allowing the icon to live on without subjecting his own body to the physical punishment of the performance. Heartbreak and starting over. Behind the scenes, Atkinson's personal life was facing its own, perfectly timed chaos. For 24 years, he was married to makeup artist Sunetra Sastry. They raised two children, Benjamin and Lily, away from the spotlight. However, in 2014, the marriage collapsed. Atkinson began a relationship with actress Louise Ford, who is nearly 30 years his junior. The resulting divorce in 2015 was a family tragedy that left deep wounds. His daughter, Lily, struggled deeply with the upheaval, while his son, Benjamin, chose a path far from Hollywood, joining the British Army. In 2017, at age 62, Atkinson became a father again with Ford, starting a new chapter while the echoes of his old life remained painful and subdued. The controversial side of a silent star. The man who rarely spoke publicly stepped into a massive controversy regarding electric vehicles, EVs. Drawing on his engineering degree, Atkinson wrote a piece for The Guardian arguing that the push for EVs was based on incomplete thinking. He raised concerns about manufacturing emissions, the environmental ethics of mining rare earth metals, and the longevity of batteries. While environmental experts called his claims nonsense, many praised him for using his technical background to challenge the status quo. He also became a vocal critic of cancel culture, comparing online mobs to medieval ones and arguing that comedy must have the freedom to offend. These statements proved that the man behind the silent character had very loud and often divisive opinions. The rumor Mr. Bean finally confirmed. For 31 years, a specific rumor circulated among comedy insiders. Is Mr. Bean actually an alien? Fans pointed to the opening credits, where he falls from the night sky in a column of light while a choir sings in Latin. They noted his total inability to understand human social customs, like queuing or ordering at a restaurant, and his childlike confusion with everyday objects. Rowan Atkinson finally addressed the speculation. He admitted that the opening sequence was the literal truth of the character. Mr. Bean was designed with a slightly alien aspect, an outsider from another place who dropped onto Earth and was forced to figure out human behavior through trial and error. The silence wasn't just a tribute to Charlie Chaplin. It was the behavior of a creature who simply did not know the language of the planet he was stranded on. After 3 decades, the secret was out. Mr. Bean wasn't just a weird man. He was a visitor from elsewhere, trying his best to survive a world he didn't understand. What do you think of Rowan Atkinson's complicated relationship with his most famous character? Did you always suspect Mr. Bean was an outsider? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this deep dive into the life of Rowan Atkinson fascinating, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Royal Time of Hollywood, and hit the bell notification so you never miss another story behind the stars you love.